Okay, this George and Eleanor, and in this video blog, we're going to look back at feedback that we've received from doing our animatic. We've got some questions here to guide us on what to talk about. So our first question is, how did we find the process? Um, I think what we first found was that it was a lot harder than we thought it would first be. Really time consuming, we had to meet up outside of class a lot more than we first thought we would. And it just required a lot more effort than we ever thought it would. Considering it's just for an animatic, it takes so long to draw all the individual pictures and then put them in order, think about the editing and film them and then edit it all together. It was just a lot of work, but I think it went well. Second question is, how did you organise yourselves, and how would you rate our time management and why? Can you say something?
We think that we use our time quite productively. We use social networking, like we use Facebook and Twitter, and emails and texts to always be in contact with each other and be able to arrange times to meet up. And we did this in school and outside of school. So, example, in school we use 3 periods to be able to meet up, in the media lab, in the common room, and things like that. And we also use the strike day, which we thought it would be a productive time. Went round George's house and we were able to finish the drawings and to film the animatics, which we wouldn't be able to do in school in the time. It took 4 or 5 hours on the strike day, and that was just finishing it. So we think we used our time quite well.
Yeah, I think we got it done in time. Actually, it was done the day before.
Yeah.
Okay, next question is, what did you learn about planning? I think the first major thing that we learned was that the more detailed it is, the easier it will be for us to produce our final video. And doing this planning for this project was a lot more thorough than it ever was in AS. We had, in this one, we had to make sure, because it's a music video, you've got to make sure that it goes to the beat of the sound. There's just a lot more to consider when there's music involved as well. Yeah, because it was more detailed because we had to consider the lyrics on each shot, and camera movement and things like that, performance and stuff. So, what's the question? What question was? Learn about planning. Yeah. So that's what we learned about is the more detailed it is, the better and the easier it will be for us in the future.
The next thing we could talk about is the performance and our performance, Anna.
Yeah.
What did we learn about performance? This was quite a big part of our animatic that, like George said, last year we didn't really consider, but we have said to each other that it depends on how the actor or the artist performs on the day. We feel like that's going to be quite important because we might see shots or just see movements that the artist could do that we didn't pre-plan.
I think this is one of the freest elements of our music video that will only be determined on the day, because I think in the professional industry that's how they edit their films together. They film it. They don't really have a structured storyboard. They don't have exact shots. It's just however the artist performs on the day. And an example of this with Miley Cyrus's Wrecking Ball. If you look at the video, it's cuts to her just performing direct to the camera. And there's also a video which I'll post on the blog of, it's a director's cut, but it's the whole director's cut is just her singing the song directly to the camera, and I feel they took they filmed it the whole way through and then chose the best bits and inserted it into the other shots and scenes from that video shoot. So I think that's something that we've got quite a clear animatic, but if anything was performed well and we'd like to include, we could do this. What did we learn about the narrative? I think we learned that it's important that it's clear, not necessarily right from the start, because while we was making our animatic and thinking how the shots would pan out, we came up with more ideas of our final idea of our narrative, and I'm really pleased with that.
Yeah.
How did audience members respond to the above areas like performance, narrative, and stuff? Once we finished our animatic and posted it in class, we watched each other's group animatic videos and made comments. And we've got the comments here from the other groups that watched our videos. So some of their comments were. Do you want to read some?
We got a lot of positive comments on the narrative. We said it was quite clear and it was well structured, and we showed this throughout animatic quite clearly, which is what we aim to do and which is one of the most important aspects of your animatic. Also the performance shots, things like the close up of the mic. The audience said that they liked things like that.
Have you done them too?
Yeah.
They said they really like the storyline. There's one here that says fantastic storyline, which is great. It's backwards.
There's that one there about the misunderstanding.
Yeah, they also mentioned that they liked how we captured the 1920s feel, which is also good. Positive.
Yeah, we've just got here again that the content reflects the narrative and the theme is clear, which is good. That's one of the things we found quite hard, and we said on one of our earlier feedbacks, which isn't recorded, but we put a blog post up of notes of it, that we had to really consider how we were going to create a mise-en-scène, because it's going to be hard because we're doing a 1920s era, but we're not setting it in that period. So it's nice that people have said that they felt like it was reflected quite well.
The next question is, what did they like? Sort of just mention that. I'll just read out everything that they said they liked. They said it was good editing to the beat, good camera movement, which showed the flow and showed the energy. The content reflected narrative. The theme is clear throughout. It's quite a mature theme, which they liked apparently. Good narrative and good costume, which I think we have considered quite a bit, but it's something that we'll want to consider more before we start shooting. They also said good drawings, fantastic storyline, and a good variation of shots as well. Again, someone said they like the varied shots and the tilts and movement. The performance shots, in particular the close-ups of the mic, and they like the props and the editing to the beat. So all these things we will keep for our video. One final one, our narrative, it says, someone's commented saying that our narrative is extremely clear and well structured, which is good. They said that they liked how the shots are very cohesive and they flow well. And also they like the idea of the London lights in the background. It says that looks pretty cool. And I like that idea. I think it look really good. So next question is, what do the audience members have questions about? Have you done that one? No. Okay. Questions about is the lighting throughout the nighttime shots of London. We have considered this. I think we should go with a strong light source when we do shoot in London. But I don't think it will actually be a big problem because all of the locations that we've chosen are in busy areas of London, which will be well lit, like Piccadilly Circus and stuff, where there's loads of lights. And outside Harrods, it's got loads of lights as well with street lamps and stuff. So I don't really think that'd be much of a problem. But I think we will take a backup source of light just in case there are any times that need lighting up. Someone said, how will we make the video look like it's in the past, or whatever period it's set, or is it in the modern day? Our video is actually in the modern day, just in the style, in the theatre scenes, it's in the style of 1920s. We've mentioned it before, it's the 1920s style is popular now, so it's still set in the same time. We couldn't change the whole time period because a lot of the shots are outside in London and there's modern technology outside in London. So it's still modern day, just a 1920s style, particularly in the theatre. A couple of people have said, what's the thing on top of the brick wall? Just to answer the question, it's like glitter. It's like glitter paper. You get it from in the craft shop. It's like glitter wallpaper, but just little sheets of paper stuck on the wall because when the alleyway scenes are first introduced, they're close-ups of her face, so all you're going to see is the glitter wallpaper, so it's going to look glamorous. But as the song is about stripping away the glamour and going back to that basics, all she wants is him. It's gonna, as the shots progress, it's gonna zoom out further away from the glitter wall, and you're gonna see the brick alleyway, which is like completely contrasting the glamour. Also, some questions that a few people have said is who are the actors and who are we casting? Our current idea is for my sister to be, who's 20, to be our main artist in the video. And we still need to consider who we are casting as our male performer.
Yeah.
So that is something that we still need to look into before we start shooting, of course. Someone said, are we not using a studio setting? No, we're not. And someone said, who are your actors as this is a love song for old people? I don't really think it's... No, I don't think it's really...
She wasn't that old.
Yeah, I don't really think it's a love song for old people, but it's not going to be like... They're not going to be our age, people performing it. We want them to be a little bit older, like early 20s. My sister's 20, who we are hoping will be the main performer. So... and I think it's normal for the male to be a little bit older as well, so hopefully we get someone that's a little bit older than 20.
I think it's just because it's like a 1920s thing, people are assuming that it's older, but like the things we've said before that we've researched into, it's actually the complete opposite. It's a lot of more like the youth and people in their 20s that are using this theme. It's not actually the older people, so we hope we can bring that to ours.
Yes.
Okay. Next question.
Someone mentioned that they think that we should establish the guy earlier on, which is something that we could consider, I think.
We do want to have a lot more shots focused on her because she's the artist, so.
Okay, so that's that question.
You looked at all of them.
Yeah, last one. Moving forward, what do we need to do in preparation for shooting? I think, for like what we've learnt and stuff, we've learnt a lot from this Animatic. Moving forward, we need to concentrate on casting our actors, seeing who we're going to get for that, because that's like really important and like a crucial part. There's a white dot that's flashing.
I know. Old.
It's the light behind us.
Just move this way.
So, actors, we need to look. Hopefully my sister, but she's at university, so we need to contact her and see when she can come down.
Yeah, now we know we've got to start shooting our schedules, sorting out our schedule soon. We need to get in contact with her.
Yes. Lighting, we've sort of discussed that already. I think lighting shouldn't be too much of a problem because it's going to be big in London. And the theatre shots, if we're using the theatre in the school, which hopefully we will be, there's light fittings already there, which we can use.
Yeah. The costume, we've already said we need to consider it more because we had ideas of like dresses that we can use, like what George drew in the Animatic is exactly what we want, and we've got positive feedback from that. It's going to be like dresses that we've actually found in real life. They're quite out of our budget, so we've just got to find a way around that. We want to use half term next week to go and look around places like charity shops and things like that because we don't mind putting some of our money into it, obviously, but we just don't want to blow the budget. So
the non-existent budget.
Exactly.
And then finally, we just need to now start discussing schedules. Need to get in contact with my sister because when we can film is really dependent on when she come down from university.
Yeah.
So that is all.
That is it.
You done?